in the presence of. Therefore, the word satsang means to be in the presence of positive energy. The next element is meditation. Meditation is an important part of satsang. When we meditate, we withdraw consciousness from worldly objects and direct it inwards to focus on a single thought. In doing so, our minds become calm and our thoughts become pure, thereby allowing us to obtain higher states of consciousness, such as enlightenment, peace, light, and love. Inner orientation. There are two types of satsang, inner satsang and outer satsang. An example of outer satsang would be chanting or attending pilgrimages. When we practice outer satsang, we have the potential to change our behavior. But only through the practice of inner satsang can we obtain higher states of consciousness, such as enlightenment, peace, light, and love. The satsang that you will learn today is an inner satsang where we meditate in silence. Group session. These practice sessions are structured for group participation. When we meditate as a group, our focus is improved and our personal progress along our spiritual path is expedited. By regularly attending these practice sessions, the benefits of group participation are amplified. Joy and inner happiness. All beings wish to experience joy. Joy is the eternal longing of the soul. But only through the practice of inner satsang can we obtain a joyous state. Each time we practice satsang, our inner happiness gradually increases, ultimately culminating in a state of joy, which we experience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The agenda for today consists of 3 sessions: the informative session, the practice session, and the interactive session. During the informative session, a lecture will be given about a satsang topic, the founder, or some relevant spiritual topic. During the practice session, you receive instructions on how to meditate, followed by a period of practice. During the interactive session, you have the opportunity to ask questions, or there'll be a panel discussion. And now, I'd like to introduce the facilitator for today's event. He has over 40 years of satsang experience. He's the grandson of Guru Maharaj, the founder of Ramashram Satsang. He was born into a satsang family where he experienced his family members obtain states of enlightenment and lead lives of peace, light, and love. At an early age, he began traveling with the mission throughout India, facilitating satsangs. And during that time, he witnessed the positive effects that satsang could have on mankind. And upon arriving to the United States, both he and his wife continued to facilitate satsangs for local satsangees. He has led teams of satsang members in translating important satsang literature into English and has worked tirelessly to make satsang more accessible to Western and English-speaking audiences. He currently travels throughout the United States, India, and England, facilitating satsangs while maintaining his duties as a husband, a father, and an IT executive. Today, he will teach us a rare and ancient form of satsang as taught by Guru Maharaj. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Sanjeev Kumarji.
Happy Tuesday, everyone. Glad that we are here in Satsang. These Tuesday sessions are very relaxed and, it's at the end of the day, it's always good to connect with the positive. So I was actually reading one of the transcripts of lectures given by my father, and he kind of we talk about ocean of peace, we talk about this target state where love, light, and peace is there, and it's, let's just simply call it like state of higher consciousness, higher awareness. So if we kept on working towards that, when do we actually get to that? And so in this, in this discussion, he actually breaks it down. He says there are 3 things that need to come together for you to be in that state of enlightenment or state of total, consistent, and deep joy. So 1, he says, you should be like oriented inwards. And we talk about this every single time because, we talk about inward orientation before we meditate. And so inward orientation, what he says is that your five senses are not going outwards, but in the inner pursuit of inner peace, they are, oriented inwards. And then the mind is still and calm. Now, again, I mean, that's very important because, we have discussed, like, typically mind would get caught up in things, which we see all the time, gets clouded with emotions, moves into the past and future, and, the worry and anxiety, which is, according to Guru Maharaj, one of the biggest challenges to inner peace. So mind being calm and quiet and still. Interestingly, he does talk about, so we talk about these three states, Satraj and Tham. So positive state, positive energy, positive thoughts. And this practice does, in a way, get us into that, right? And so what he says, but there is a third element, which is heart being pure. So, and it talks more about this, but what he says is that inward orientation and mind being calm and quiet, those two things we accomplish through this practice. And heart being pure is the result of this practice. But all those three things ought to happen for you to be in this quote unquote target state. Further describes that, sattvic vichar, or positive thoughts, so if you are, surrounded by, hurt and hurting others and violence and all these other emotions, then in a way, your heart is also not pure. So, so this getting mind to be positively oriented, he says you have to, typically they say that, mind is moving in, this slipping and sliding aspect comes into picture, where mind's energy, or this negative energy, which is flowing fast downwards, has to be reoriented to, start moving upwards. So the mind, when it's starting to move upwards, that is the process of vertical ascent, and that has a direct impact on purity of your heart. So inward orientation, calm and quiet mind, and purity of heart, those three things, when they come together in, and we're talking here when, the senses are completely focused inwards, when the mind is actually, in a state where it's directed upwards, positive thoughts, positive energy, positive, so quiet, calm, and oriented towards vertical ascent, and all that then results into purity of heart, which then takes us closer to call it divinity, call it, you know, light, love, and peace, call it Krishna consciousness, call it, you know, um, it's enlightenment and all those things. These three, he just says these three things are together, you're there. But and I was also in some things he's describing about the mind where it moves into the past, into the future. So some of the description is more of a, like when we think about mindfulness and some other concepts where you just observe your mind. So what, the visual I have is when the teacher comes into the class, the kids, uh, you know, uh, behave differently. So it's the same thing when you observe your mind, when you observe your thoughts, um, just by the virtue of doing that, things start to improve in there. So it's a very interesting phenomenon that way. All right. So on that note, we are in that pursuit ourselves. So let's get into it. Yeah. So again, inward orientation and concentration, right? And that leads to higher consciousness. So this slide I came up, when I was reading Guru Maharaj's 7-volume book somewhere when he described the process, I think. So it has a backdrop of Ashtanga yoga and 8 limbs of yoga, but essentially, if you look at these 4 elements of Ashtanga yoga, they are actually samadhi, which is the higher consciousness, is state, which actually when Guru Maharaj describes samadhi, one thing he says is like it's a state that stays. So it's not fickle, transient, and so the chances that if you're inward oriented and you're concentrating, you get into deeper meditation, you forget about where you started, who you are, where you are, and all that, you might actually get to those moments where you are highly aware, highly conscious, but you refer to those things as samadhi only when that state actually is, um, you know, something that is that stays. It could stay for minutes, for hours, sometimes even for some people, days, and then eventually, when you go beyond some of that, then we have talked about sahaj samadhi or natural samadhi, where without, so every act becomes your, like, your practice, which is initially concentrated at the time of meditation only, slowly percolates. So your connection to positive energy, you're refreshing the positive energy, your becomes second nature to a point where it's like consistently and constantly connected. And when that happens, you don't have to sit in meditation to get to these states. And once you get there, it becomes second nature or very, very natural to, uh, where you are in this whole process. And so in Sahad Samadhi, or what Guru Maharaj said is the target state of satsang, where normal people, working people, or people doing family duties or other things, which are quote unquote worldly pursuits, but they are connected and at higher consciousness levels while doing all that. Guru Maharaj said that that's what, you know, um, our satsang is geared towards. So people continue to, do their day-to-day duties, but part of their priority and part of their day-to-day duties is a process through which they sometimes get a heavy dose, which is a meditation and refreshing and connecting and storing all this energy, but then it becomes just, you know, um, the easiest way, I can describe as second nature, but another way is like your iPhone, always connected, always, the background thread is running and updating things. You don't have to really make a conscious effort, quote unquote. All right, on that note, let's get into it. So eyes lightly closed and sit in a relaxed and still posture, because we want to get to this calm and quiet and still mind. And every time your body moves, your mind moves with it. Every time the sensory input comes in, your mind moves with it. So eyes lightly closed, still and relaxed posture. And then think of this, you know, enormously positive and uplifting and unfathomable transcendental energy in form of light that's in front of us, entering our heart, distributing throughout our body, and we're getting completely and totally immersed in this light. Mind wanders away, bring it back to this thought and this thought alone, that, this light is coming into our heart, enlightening our heart, and then distributing throughout the body, and we're getting completely and totally immersed, and we are becoming the light. Let's start. So happy Tuesday, everyone. Glad that we're here in Satsang. And Luz, I see you there. Uh, I hope it's a good.
Yes. Oh, that's an interesting comment. I did actually experience something stressful. So and I remembered that your session is at 7. So I said, well, you know what? Let me
Yeah. So the
jump on.
first thing that came to my mind was like, is that a good sign?
You were not off. But this was just what I needed. So I
But
hope you're all
yeah,
well.
I mean, 5 minutes before the session, I was like, yeah, I definitely need meditation today. Um, I hope everything is all good, and you know, we are here to collectively help each other out, in terms of the energy.
Yes. That was a great meditation, so thank you. And it's always a joy to see you all. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. Yeah, we would be having a in-person, I think July 27th, I think.
I'll put that in my calendar.
Yeah, I'll probably remind again, but it'll be like last time. So hopefully everybody would be there. Guru Purnima, which is, the day dedicated to Guru is, I think on the 21st, the Sunday, but we decided to do the 3-day, retreat the weekend after. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Will you hold it at the Vienna Community Center?
So Onkar is here. I'm trying to see. One thought was that why not just invite everyone to my basement, which usually the entire 3-day thing is in my basement, and why not have the English session there too? That was thought on one side. The other one is that Onkar and I are looking at auditorium in the school and just do everything there. This time the community center is available in the evening, but I just want to have the Saturday session as usual there, and the rest, I think you're feel free to join us. The only thing is this is the one in English, but see, at the end of the day, I think satsang is satsang, right? Meditation is core part of it, and these days, I think, yeah. So the invitation is open for all sessions. Let's just put it there.
I'll definitely try to make it.
Yeah, I'm seriously thinking of doing like a weekend retreat, a 3-session, 2 sessions on Saturday and Sunday for the English, 3 English sessions on a weekend. I have to just decide, maybe August, September timeframe, somewhere there. And then Anita ji is here, so we're looking to be in Cleveland end of September, the last weekend, and then Toronto will be August 17th and 18th. So yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, definitely. And
Do
there will
I'll put my camera on because it's the end of the day and not the
no,
morning.
I actually, really don't care one way or the other, but it's always good to see the cameras on. And especially after the session, I think it even makes more sense to be interactive. Namaskar. Namaskar.
Namaskar, Bhai Sahib. Yes, we are eagerly awaiting, very excited about having the sessions in Cleveland, and really grateful for your energy in your travels. And it never ceases to amaze me how much you can get accomplished by going everywhere. But yes, we are very grateful for that opportunity.
I am trying to hold my horses a little bit. So it was July at, this whole 26, 27, 28. And then there was a plan for UK on the next weekend, Manchester on the weekend after that, and then Toronto. And I'm like, no, let's cut it down. So I think UK, Manchester, and London, I think will probably fit in somewhere else. But everybody was talking about it, and then we just paused it. I said like 4 weeks in a row will be kind of crazy. But I don't mind. I mean, in summer, I think you can travel, but well. So Luz, you were saying something.
Oh, yeah, if I'm sure you post this information somewhere, but
Yeah.
I'd be interested in even like going to like a session outside of Virginia. Just make a trip out of it. I don't know that I can, but that's appealing, at least in theory.
See, yeah, I think you were giving me a little more inspiration and motivation to put things out on the website. Believe it or not, for last literally several months, I have put in time and effort, but it's just like almost there, not there yet kind of situation. But I'm hoping by end of July, I will get the website in order where you can see the live sessions. YouTube will be embedded there. You would have the schedule. You would have English, Hindi, traditional, hybrid, in person, work, all that fun stuff will be out there. Because what I was about to say was Philadelphia is not too far from here, and we could have even, you could have traveled with us too, actually. But it was when, I think middle of May somewhere. And Cleveland is, very drivable.
When you hold the sessions in these other places, where do you typically hold them?
At home. So like it will be at Anita G's place. And what we are trying though is the Saturday morning English session be in like a hall or auditorium or something like that. And then the traditional sessions are like cozy at home, chilling, food, Indian food after that. So if you come for the entire weekend, you just, food is baked in.
No pun intended.
Right, right.
Sounds fair.
Like this year, interestingly, even some of the traditional sessions were quote unquote very open in the sense like a lot of people who didn't know Satsang, joined in. So Seattle, Bay Area, Manchester, that was the first time we did. It was pretty good. Yeah, need to get organized, but I mean, website is the basic, we'll get there.
It's good as it is.
Yeah. Sometimes I think that the traditional virtual sessions, which like this one, were like very intimate in the sense, like for years, 20, 30 people, and believe it or not, so funny, or actually to me, it's a very inspiring and very, very close to me. So 2010, so Guru Maharaj's birthday is November 3rd. So 2010, I just felt like, okay, in my hometown, Jaipur, where my father was a chemistry professor in the university there, 200 miles west of Delhi. So I was there for the weekend, for that birthday week. There is like 7 days in a row, satsang somewhere or the other. I kind of celebrate it that way, right? So I said, like, virtually, why not make that week a month? So we said, like, okay, every day, November 2010, we'll do every day virtual session, and we did. And I was like, with my schedule, would that happen? And believe it or not, it actually happened. So once the November was done, so there were like 20, 30, sometimes 50 people. No, actually at that time it was more 10 to 30. And so I asked one of them, like, okay, so now we did this month. It was great. And I was surprised that I actually was able to attend all days. What should we do now? He said, like, let it keep going. And it kept going. And, so when pandemic hit, that was like ages later, right? And so what happened was in India, there was because, the population is such, people at one point stopped getting out of the house because it was just so crowded and you didn't want to interact. And so morning and evening, virtually the entire family would sit in these sessions. So if I look at, like, on average, like 3-4 people between YouTube and WebEx, which we use there for, they were like about 1,000 to 1,500 connections. So multiply it by a couple more, like 3-4, those are like a few thousand people. So from 30-40, it became like a few thousand people every day.
Wow.
Crazy. But then when I look back, I'm like, what more can a service be that in such, circumstances, the entire family is getting energized positively morning and evening? I mean, it's like, I mean, if there is a blessing, I couldn't have asked for more, you know. So yeah. So I feel that, if we start bringing some of this together, you know, I think this year itself, Philadelphia, Bay Area, Seattle, and Manchester and London, I'm like, so, but yeah, all good. So what I don't know why I speak so much. My wife always tells me, it's like all I was saying was that this intimate setting where you're just few of us, is actually a blessing in itself, because once it grows beyond a certain point, the interaction just, becomes I mean, it's still satsang and everything. It just interaction becomes very different.
Well, I know certainly for me, this is always a blessing.
Yeah.
Joining you on the virtual, I really, yeah, I benefit very much from. It's already calming. It's very calming. So
Yeah.
I find this to be a blessing.
No, I actually, for me, it's like keeps me, you know, so I have kind of shifted a little bit because earlier I used to attend those traditional sessions a lot more. Now, twice a week, I focus more on this, but it's all good because that's on cruise control. Or let's say, there are lots of other people who are, now very deeply engaged in serving and all that. So all good.
There's something special about a community coming together with a certain purpose and a shared purpose, a shared purpose that is geared towards elevating.
So if there is a theme or a thought that is like actually, I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but it's like blooming is community. I think the more and more, actually, I was just talking to Omkar about, Guru Purnima, which is the end of July. So um, we, so what I'm thinking is that interaction should be like, especially here, the grounding in some of these concepts and approaches and how some of this comes together, which is like, I mean, even for me, after decades and being born in this, I still think there are things that I don't fully understand or grasp uh, articulate, because I have seen it, I have even experienced it, but how do you articulate that? It's so personal in some ways, and it's so beyond anything that you have seen being described, that it's like, how do you put that in words? Um, so two things that I'm thinking about is that there should be a community, but I don't want like a social media kind of thing, right? So the thought process that came about was, let's have a more structured content, put it in a course, and that course has a community attached to it, and open that community even further. And so the backdrop is learn, practice, and then share or help each other in satsang. So because satsang needs to be a community, and yes, so a little more community feeling and interaction, while the focus is still spiritual growth, spiritual, yeah. So we will launch the website, the course, and the community, virtual community to start with. But I'm also actually, now that you've got me speaking, it's like I'm also thinking about actually creating a meditation room where people could just come in and go at will. Because that was part of satsang too. Like my grandfather's house was open access to anybody, like literally. My father, so when and this is again, I just keep going from here to there. It's so when I started the virtual sessions, what I was like, I'm sitting here. My father used to have daily 2, 4, 5, 10 visitors daily, right? And I'm like, so I can have virtual visitors, right? So that's how I was. So it became soon it became like 20, 30. So yeah, daily 20, 30, that works for me. That was interesting.
I find it interesting because I often struggle with social anxiety.
Mhm.
And I would consider myself not, I know that it's not a great thing to categorize people and one's self, but I consider myself introverted, sometimes extroverted introvert, but generally at the core. But I never really feel social anxiety in this group.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I am telling you, there are lots and lots of people I have seen. See, and again, like it's about when I was saying like articulating some of these things that I have seen day in and day out for years. And since when I was very little, like one thing is that when I think about how quickly few people meet on a dining table, right? It becomes so loud you can't hear anybody, right? You go to a restaurant, you go to bar, it's just so loud so quickly, right? And not just that, I mean, if you watch any movies or these shows, the dining table discussion goes sideways or downward so quickly, right? But think about thousands of people sitting in meditation, completely silent. I mean, that to me is like, where will you find that, right? So, positive backdrop, completely positive backdrop, right? And then that even that becomes silent, right? I think the energy that comes out of that is undescribed, because and another thing I have been lately I've been thinking about, so like unicorn, right? Unicorn is a concept in a way, right? So in India there is a bird called Hans Param. So some saints are called the highest level of, so Hans, which is Paramhans, which is, so what is that? So that bird is supposed to, so if you dilute the milk, right? That's the how the concept has evolved, right? So it's like if you dilute the milk, you put lots of water in it, the bird will just drink the milk, which is, again, I mean, it's completely fictitious. But think about that. So if someone becomes so focused on positive and positive and positive only that the person sees you only the positive thoughts, positive side of you, right? So they only look at the positive, they only connect with the positive. So that's the concept, right? What I feel is in satsang, what happens is that, say, 10 people come together, they have bits of positivity, and you like not add it, multiply it. So 2 times, 4 times, 100 times, whatever. And that exponential number is the resulting collective energy. So only the positive adds up or multiplies. So it doesn't just add up. Why it multiplies is, so it's like, so you would say like, how come, these bits and pieces kind of come together to become such a humongous energy? So what comes to my mind, which is a negative connotation in that example, but the model is that I was actually sitting in Jaipur, my hometown, in probably 6,000 people. There was a tent, and I right in the middle of meditation, I opened my eyes. It's like it felt like the picture that came to my mind was of the mushroom cloud in Hiroshima. So it was very, powerful. Same atoms and molecules and stuff that we would find here on Earth, but they came together through the catalyst and through the process in a way that an enormous amount of energy came out. And I feel satsang has that capability, that it can multiply the positivity in ways that otherwise would not add up. So, and you can say, okay, so there is this collective energy, or there is this divinity, or this divine presence, blessing, grace, whatever you call it, but it is enormous. It is not like a, and there are individuals, I wouldn't call those individuals very positive individuals. Pardon my, French there. I'm just saying there are people who came together. I wouldn't say that they are like super, there are some, but not the entire 5,000. But that space is so energized that I'm telling you, you go there once. And again, I think we are in some states, like when you're skeptic, when you're not in receiving mode, and et cetera, people will go there, come back without, being that affected. But if you go in the right mode, I'm telling you, you would have not experienced anything like this before in your life. So anyway. So Anita ji, what do you say? I mean, you have been, as you say yourself, like not a satsangi from from a like early age, but sometimes I feel like very small satsangs also have like such enormously positive energy, which is just like, whoa, what happened? Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely true. I feel it is also part of what you bring, and what your expectations are, and that affects your experience. But yes, you're right about those large numbers in India. I've experienced that not too many times, but a few times. I've been lucky to. But yes, we cannot, expect or imagine those kind of numbers here in the US. But that's not to take away from, these sessions, like they are really good when people come together. And thank you for, again, creating this group over here in the US and these regular sessions. And they are immensely useful to whoever comes in. And yes, there is some comfort in the smaller group as well, while there are benefits to a larger one as well. So
No,
both,
so
both.
what do you the thing that I was just describing about this whole multiplier effect, um, do don't you feel that there are like sessions and places where satsang was just like, you go in with the same mindset, but the effect is totally different? Do you experience that?
Yes, I've been to Mathura twice during the Shivratri
Mhm.
satsangs, and it is completely different. That is true.
It's like almost different level. Right? It's like,
And it's a lot of people. This was long ago, and I'm told that there are even more people now. So
yeah, yeah.
I have to go back.
All right. Actually, yeah. So all good. So Eddie, you want to wrap it up for today?
Don't really have much to add, but it's just very interesting and exciting to see you being able to travel more throughout the world. And Toronto really excites me. It's one of my favorite places to go when I was intern student in upstate New York. So it's good to see you going there as well. I used to visit there quite often. So, I wish you
Yeah.
and your family good health so that you can continue doing what you're doing. It's making an impact on the world.
When will I see you in person?
Oh, I don't know. I'll get down there one of these days.
Yeah.
We'll meet up again.
Yeah. See if July 26, 27, 28 work. Otherwise, yeah, either New Jersey or Philadelphia sometime.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Probably Philly, yeah. Yeah, Philadelphia probably would be good for me.
Yeah, it has been a while. Doesn't feel like that, but I was actually, believe it or not, like I was talking about the traditional virtual sessions. So you were meeting so often, and so you become like almost so familiar, and as though you're meeting so frequently. And one of the folks in there, I met him, and then the person said, "Oh, I've never met you before. This is the first time in person." And I knew this person on these sessions for 8 years before I actually met him. That was surreal. And it didn't feel like that at all. At all. It was just like,
Certainly understandable.
it was like, whoa. Just like, what? Yeah, so Luz, Eddie and I go back to like, yeah, almost 2 decades now.
Wow. You both met in New Jersey?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like New Jersey. I used to live there. I lived in Jersey City for a little while.
yeah. Yeah, I loved there. It was really, really nice area. There was a AT&T town, Basking Ridge. I was there for quite some time there. Before that, I was 10 miles north of Princeton. That was also a very nice area.
And Anita, where are you from? Where do you live?
Over here, yes, Cleveland.
Cleveland. Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be what are the dates, like 26th and 27th September?
Yes, the last weekend of September. I think it is the 26, 27, or 27, 28, whatever the Saturday, Sunday is.
It's 28th, 29th.
Okay.
Yeah.
That last weekend in
Yeah.
September.
Yeah.
It would be great to have anyone who would love to come.
Mm. Yeah. Actually, last few sessions have been so good. I think it was, I don't know, last Saturday or last Tuesday. Probably it was last Tuesday. It was just I don't know, it was really phenomenal session. All right. Okay, so we'll look forward to those in-person opportunities, and then I think creating this. So Onkar and I are carving it out. So Jeff, Eddie, Liz, everyone here actually, we will start a beta program of that community, the virtual community, pretty soon. So sometime in July. So yeah, really looking forward to that. So, what I was thinking was that, let's say it's a 5-week course. So these sessions, Tuesday, Saturday, they stay as is and become part of the course as well. And like you're talking about inner yoga for a week, you're talking about manifesting transcendental energy for a week. And these people learn, practice, they'll have a daily download. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, most probably will have a Satsang app also. So, it'll be nice. We'll see.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it's so, let's see, because at the end of the day, this is like a lifestyle. This is more of a constant learning how to stay connected with the positive at all times, right? All right. So, so one of folks I really been connected to for a very, very long time. So, and he was one of the early adopters of the virtual sessions on the traditional side. And so we used to be talking like this, and then it's like time to wrap up, and he would say, oh, we just started enjoying here. and it's wrap up time. So I feel like that today, totally. So, but yeah, we'll see you all here soon. Stay positive, stay, with love, light, and peace. Take care, everyone. We'll see you here soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good night. Namaskar.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.